Good
Ben.
morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm Ben Bullock with Together SC, and I'm pleased to welcome you to this very special training introducing you to the new and improved Volunteer SC platform. I've got my colleagues from Together SC as well as from the United Way Association and AmeriCorps, as well as our new friends from Point. All of us are here to announce and explore this platform that we've collectively put together for you. And just to give you a little sense of the history here, there has been a volunteersc.org platform for a number of years, but a little while ago, we put our heads together with our friends over at AmeriCorps and the United Way Association and said, hey, it's in need of an update. We need to do a refresh and really figure out how we can make this a tool that nonprofits all across the state can make really good use of. And so we explored some options. We met the folks from Point, and for many, many reasons, which you'll hear on this call, we selected Point as the technology to power the new and improved Volunteer SC platform. So our objectives for this year is we want to increase the power of volunteers in South Carolina for South Carolina's nonprofit organizations. We want to connect you with people who are willing to help you fulfill your missions and donate their time to do so. And we want to give you the tools to track that impact of for your volunteers, not just for your organization, but so that we can, at the statewide level, track the impact of volunteers at all of the different organizations all across our state. We want to provide this wonderful technology infrastructure, new and updated technology to y'all for you to use. And then we want to be able to create a hub, a statewide hub, and we know that there are many local hubs all across the state as well, but a statewide hub for folks who are just saying, hey, I want to give back of my time. I want to contribute back to my community. How do I do that? Where do I get started? And they can find volunteersc.org and use that as a launching point for their contributions. And importantly, as we know, emergencies and natural disasters are becoming more and more prevalent, unfortunately. And so having this centralized tool as a way that we can help mobilize volunteers in a time of emergency, as well as track how volunteers are being mobilized in emergency, really helps us prepare for future events and be able to respond to those events in a timely manner. So those are our objectives. That's why we've come together with our partners to make this new platform available to y'all. And so this new network, this new and improved volunteersc.org, it's a partnership between the United Way Association of South Carolina, AmeriCorps South Carolina, and Together SC, along with the technology provided by our colleagues here at Point. And so I think that was my last slide, but I want to turn it over oh yes. So we wanted this to be a single platform where our members, our AmeriCorps programs, and our United Ways can get together and manage their internal volunteer programs and recruit new volunteers through the Volunteer SC platform powered by Point. And so I'll turn it over to my colleague Mark Weller to welcome you from the AmeriCorps.
Thanks, Ben. Good morning, everyone. Mark Weller here over at the South Carolina Service Commission and the United Way Association. We're the AmeriCorps folks. Our goal, working with Together SC on this and taking on this project, was very simple. We want volunteerism and service to thrive in South Carolina. We want it to thrive at the maximum potential possible. For a volunteer, any volunteer in the state, we want that experience to be smooth, wonderful, and something that you would want to return back to time and time again. One of the key audiences that makes that experience wonderful and impactful is volunteer managers and organizations leading volunteer efforts. We want everybody in this room, your teams, to have the best tools available to you, to have the best peer network available to you, to have the best training available to you so that when you are out in your communities, your volunteerism efforts thrive. It is that simple. What we're talking about today primarily is the tool, volunteersc.org, a free platform with robust features. You can ride it like a bicycle or fly it like a spaceship, and you get to choose which path you want to take. However, we are also going to talk, I know Ben and Karen and the team at Together SC, about peer networks, trainings, ways that you as volunteer administrators and your teams can rally around tools and networks and approaches and philosophies that really advance and amplify the efforts of volunteerism. So I just want to welcome you all in here today. So glad that you joined us. And please know you are going to walk out of here today with access to tools and access to contacts for how to get the next step on this.
Amazing. Well, thank you all for having me. I am Point CEO. We are the technology backbone of the Volunteer SC platform. We are so excited to be working with you and powering your platform. Today, we're going to talk about how you as individual nonprofits can use Point. Just like Ben said, this tool is not just an aggregate tool. It's not just a billboard for you to post, hey, we might need help. No, it's an actual tool that you can use internally in your volunteer recruitment and management process, all the way from recruitment, all the way to tracking. We have tons and tons and tons of features. We will not go over them all today. We have like hundreds of features. You can find a list on our website. This is just a quick demo and a quick training on how to get started to make sure that you have access to the power of the recruitment from Volunteer SC. And then if you want to further dive into how to use the features that you are given, which is amazing, you can book a call with our team or join a training on Wednesdays to do that. I wanted to point out that not everybody on this call, before we even get into things, recruits and manages volunteers the same way. We know some people do recruitment. We know some people don't do recruitment. We know that your onboarding process might be really complex. We might know that some of you don't even have an onboarding process. We know the complexities that come with volunteer management. And just again, to note that we can help you with your unique use case deeply in training sessions with our team or with the United Way team. But again, at this call, we're going to take a pretty fast stroke at it. We are excited to be selected as your technology partner because we are truly the easiest volunteer management system on the market. We have an array of tools that you have access to. We have a volunteer dashboard. We have an admin dashboard. The admin dashboard is where we're going to be spending our time today. We have a volunteer app. We are able to power not only the volunteersc.org website, but your own website for free. If you want to have something similar to the volunteersc.org website on your website that is just for your organization. And we have check-in stations with pro licenses. There are lots of different tools that we have to make sure that your management is easy. We work across the nation with thousands and thousands of organizations now. These numbers are now outdated, and we're proud to do so. We are known to be fast-paced, quick to use, and that's why we were chosen to do this. We are known to drive engagement. We have the leading match rate in the nation, which means we are the fastest tool to match a volunteer to a volunteer opportunity. We beat the reigning champ at nearly 90% to 28% in that match. And so we really hope that we'll bring that matching power to you all. I wanted to quickly go through our shameless commercial, but I also wanted to give Karen a moment to speak to you directly. I know that she shared her thoughts with you at the summit, but to give her the floor now to talk about why this is so important.
So thank you so much, Madison. Again, just a couple of words. I'm very, very excited about this. This is our big product launch for 2025 on behalf of Together SC. And I want to give major props to Mark and Mallory and Ben. They did all the hard work at looking at a lot of different options that we had to provide this tool for you. We knew this was going to be really, really important. And I keep hearing in my short tenure how important having this kind of tool for you to manage your volunteers in an efficient, organized way. And so we're just really, really delighted that Point was selected out of many, many options that were looked at and sort of road tested. And we really do feel this is the best combination of ease of use, but also great functionality, the main things that you really want to get done. I've been joking with my colleagues that anybody can use this because I've set up to use it and it was easy. And sometimes I can be a little technology slow. So I'm assuring you, if I can do it, you can do it. So I just, again, really appreciative of the Point team. They've come up with a great product. And I think that our collective team of United Way Network, AmeriCorps, and Together SC made a really good choice. And we hope you agree when you get a chance to really start digging in and using the tool and everything that it offers you. So thank you to the Point team and everybody who made this possible. I think this is going to be a game changer for how we do volunteerism in the state of South Carolina. And that's what we really want to see, so that you benefit from your organization. And then, God forbid, we have a massive emergency that is statewide or something like we had last year with Hurricane Helene. We're able to mobilize a lot of volunteers from your organization and others very, very quickly using volunteersc.org. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. Just like Karen said, on this page right here is the blown out vision of what Volunteer SC could be in a time of emergency. At the top, we could have a segregated list of ways we could rally just around a disaster. And then our regular scheduled volunteer opportunities in the state could be underneath of that. We can use those customized feeds to send those out to organizations that have people power and that are ready to move those people. That could be religious organizations. That could be, schools and universities. It could be a quick way to make sure that your agency, your expertise, the way that you're meeting your community is seen first. So we can move everybody in the community around the ways that we can be helping more effectively, instead of having so many overlapping mutual aid efforts in those times of disaster. And again, shuffling the people power to your agencies when we need it. Right now, we are going to be looking at what Volunteer SC is going to be like for a volunteer, just so you get the idea and the flow. If you have not checked it out already, we're going to go through that flow now. We're also going to go through a couple different flows about registration processes that you can see how customized it can be. But let's see who's on here right now. So I'm at volunteersc.org. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and I can see that there are already volunteer opportunities posted. Here is an opportunity from Sustaining Way. They are doing a food distribution. So I'm going to, as a volunteer, I'm going to click on it. I can see that that opportunity is happening every Thursday. I can read about that volunteer opportunity, get all the information that I need. And when I'm ready to sign up to volunteer, I'm going to click go. Sustaining Way is asking some questions of me as a volunteer. All of this information is asked by Sustaining Way, is going to be stored in Sustaining Way's dashboard. It's going to be stored on the volunteer profile. And they're asking me for that information. They're asking me to complete a waiver. And they're asking me if I want to bring guests with me. I might want to bring a friend. I might want to bring some kids. I can sign those people up. Again, this flow, this registration flow is customizable to your organization. And that is the great benefit here. Normally on these type of platforms, like a volunteer center, like volunteersc.org, it's more of like an interest form. Like, I think I'm interested in volunteering. The volunteer kind of have to send up like a carrier pigeon or play phone tag to sign up. It's normally a mess for a volunteer. It is normally a chase. And what we have found is, especially with the younger generation, we have to make that jump from seeing a post to registering a much easier flow to get those people through the door, especially also not just for the younger generation, but in times of disaster, we want to onboard quickly. And that is what Point is built to do. So let's look at another example here. So I think this is Lydia's Nest. They're also doing some food distribution. It looks like they're doing it every Wednesday. I'm going to look at the information here. I'll sign up to volunteer. They are asking that they require 2 sign-up dates to register. I can have the system auto-select dates for me, or I can go through the calendar and select some myself, and then I can finish registering for the event. Again, the customizability here is amazing. You can create an ongoing commitment requirements through pro licensures. There's a lot of different ways that you can post on Point to recruit. Okay, so this is where the volunteer might be looking and searching for their volunteer opportunities. They can search by zip code, they can search by date, they can search by days, or they can search by cause. So I'm interested in all causes, or I'm just caring about health related causes. I can search that way as well. So that is a good example of what the volunteer flow might look like. And again, that registration process is customized by your organization on Point. It can be as complex or as streamlined or simple as you want it to be. Okay. You might be asking, okay, so we have an application that our organization requires before you volunteer. Applications are available on Point, and registrations can be kind of gate kept until they go through that application process. That is a pro feature with us. And today we're going to be mainly talking about our core functionality, but just as a note, if you think of a feature, it's probably available in Point somewhere. Okay, so as a member of Together SC, you guys have been invited to the network, the Volunteer SC network. Now, what does that mean exactly? I will tell you. A network structure is kind of like an umbrella. It's where one entity at the top, this partnership between United Way, AmeriCorps, and Together SC, is inviting you as organizations to join underneath that umbrella. With that join, the partnership will aggregate those volunteer opportunities on togethersc.org or volunteersc.org, like we just showed. And they will also track aggregate unidentified data across the state. What is that data that they're gathering? They are gathering hours. They're for hours volunteered. They are gathering the number of volunteer opportunities, which we call events across the state. They're looking at basic demographics. If that information is gathered, like how many Gen Z volunteers do we have versus more seniors. They also look at first time and repeating volunteers across the state to see how the engagement is across the state. Again, this information is de-identified. They do not have the names of your volunteers. They do not have the contact information of your volunteers. They don't have any of that data. They don't have access to your accounts. They cannot get in your accounts. Also, it's important to know that organization to organization, you don't have any access to another organization's account. So if your organization has questions about security, you can request our security documentation, which is a very, very long 30+ docs that we will send over to you. And we're happy to have a conversation with your security and IT teams. Today, you have access to a core plan on Point, which is the ability to post events, to be able to check in volunteers, to be able to post your own volunteer opportunities on your websites, to be able to run reports about your volunteer impact, have access to calendar views, time tracking, and more, as well as being able to harness the power from Volunteer SC recruitment and marketing efforts that the partnership will be doing across the state. So the volunteer experience is something that we just went through. Now let's go through the technical nitty-gritty. How do we get started to post on volunteersc.org? How do we get your events shown to the entire state? Let's go through it. There are 3 steps. First, you're going to register for Point. Second, you're going to join the Volunteer SC network. And then third, you're going to create an event on point. If you have a pro license, some of you on this call might have gone through that early sign up with Together SC. I know that they sent out something around a month ago. If you have that pro license, you can be posting an application as well. Also to note, if you have any questions during this registration process, there are lots of individuals here to help you. There is Mallory. I don't know, Mallory, are you here? Is your sound working? Can you say hi?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Maybe.
Oh my God, it worked. Hi.
Mallory's here. And she is the state lead for civic engagement and is running the ship. She is happy to talk with you. Our team, whether that's Jenny, Steph, or Shelby, who are also on this call. I don't know if you guys can turn off your mics and say hi.
Hey guys.
They are also here to help you on our side. Our support team is killer, absolutely killer. And we want you to take advantage of chatting them anytime that you need. Okay, let's talk about registration and what that looks like for your nonprofit. You are going to go to dash.pointup.org and /sign up. You are going to go first, make an account for you as an individual. It's kind of like making a Facebook account. You make one for you first, and then you add a Facebook page. This is what that process looks like. You're going to add your account, and then you're going to go through a lot of these questions that we're going to ask about your organization. A lot of these questions the IRS makes us ask, and you'll go through and fill these out. Questions about religious organizations on this form. Some of it asks about like, are you a religious congregation or are you a nonprofit? If you are a nonprofit that functions like a Salvation Army that has a religious backing and ethos to your nonprofit, but you are not functioning as a like a church that would be proselytizing and creating like church services, then you're a nonprofit. If you are creating church services or VBSs, then you would be a religious congregation. So just as a note, if you are a nonprofit similar to like a Salvation Army, go the nonprofit route. You will be added to your account and you'll be able to get started. Okay, so how do you join the Volunteer SC dot? Oh, yes, Ben.
I want to just clarify on that point, because there are some organizations, and Salvation Army is an excellent example, where that line is quite blurry.
Yeah.
And so if it's okay, I want to clarify. I think your use case, if you're one of those organizations that is both a religious congregation, but you're also providing services to the public,
Great question.
which one you would select depends on your use case. So if your objective is to connect your congregation's members to volunteer opportunities out in the community as well as your own, then select religious congregation. But if your goal is to engage the public in helping provide services to the public without necessarily doing that proselytizing work, as Madison says, then select nonprofit organization.
Exactly. The distinction between the accounts is the religious organization accounts are actually souped up accounts. They are mini business accounts that we built as a replica so that you can also manage your congregation and your mission in one platform. So yes, that's exactly why that distinction is there. So as Ben said, that's a really good way to think about it. If you are a subset of a religious organization, like if you are a mission of a church, let's say a food pantry, and you're just signing up as a food pantry, that's the nonprofit route, because your use case is you're using it as a nonprofit would. Okay, thank you for that. I know that's always kind of sticky registering. So when you're joining the Volunteer SC network, you can join it two ways. One, you can have Together SC or United Way or Mallory send you an invitation from the network. And when they send you an invitation, you're going to get this email and you just need to push accept the invitation button and then you've joined the network. That's how that works. If you go the route where you're logging on and you go to the network page on Point and you search to join the network, then Mallory will have to accept you on their end. So there's two ways to do it. If it's easier for you to email Mallory and say, hey, could you send us an invite? That's a simple way to go. And all you have to do is click a button. If you don't, you'll go to My Organizations, you'll select Join a Network, and then you'll type in Volunteer SC and you can join. Okay, so once you have joined the network on the account, now it's time to get into the product itself and create a volunteer opportunity. So let's do that together now. Okay, so here I am on my demo. Quick lay of the land. This is your homepage after you've gone through our onboarding where you can see all your upcoming events and a quick shortcuts here. Under your people tab is where you're going to be finding all of the information about your volunteers. Under contacts is, hi Shelby, here at the top, are all the people that have joined your organization as volunteers. When you click on a user's profile, let's look at Aaron, it has all the information stored on the volunteer that is in the Point system. So I'm tracking Aaron's attendance, I'm tracking his hours, I'm seeing what the group sees in, programs, his involvement over time. And it also, has some information about him. I can see what opportunities he signed up for. I can see the hours that he has contributed to my organization, whether that's through event registration or manual submission. I can see notes and documents that are stored as an organization. I can see waivers, applications and background checks with Pro. All of this is stored in the volunteer profile. If I go down here to opportunities, this is where I post my events on Point. There's a couple different things I want to call out when posting to the network when you create that event. So I'm going to scroll down here to privacy access. If you pay attention to anything in this call, make sure it's this. Public access is for anyone on the internet to register for your volunteer opportunities, including the volunteersc.org platform. If you post an opportunity public, it will post on volunteersc.org. If you post your opportunity public unlisted, which means it's secret or private, it will not post up on volunteersc.org. This gives you the flexibility to make sure that you have things that you're posting to the network and some things that you are not. What is that example of things that you might not want to post to the network? Well, you might have a company that wants to reserve a whole volunteer opportunity just for their corporate group. Public unlisted is a great way to do that. You can send out the volunteer sign up link to that company, but it's not going to have anybody else register for those spots that don't have the link. Private opportunities are a way for you to safeguard your opportunity registrations. On the contact list that I showed you before, if we go back to Aaron, I can see that Aaron is a private volunteer. He's been marked as private. You can decide who in your organization is marked as public or private. Furthermore, you can separate your contacts into groups. So when you are creating those opportunities, here, if I go back to my create event, I can make volunteer opportunities private for a specific group of people. So if you have a pool of volunteers that are cleared and ready to volunteer for anything, you can just have those people have registration access and nobody else. You can have private registration access for, let's say, a different group of people, like a corporate group that is coming to volunteer with you, subgroups of people. This helps when your organization has a certain level of clearance that you need to safeguard. or if you have that application process that you need to make sure they finish before they have registration access, this is a really good way to do it. Again, we're not going to be talking about our application workflow in this call, but it is available. Okay, let's go down the list to talk a little bit more about how to post these opportunities. We're going to ask you for a photo. We're going to ask you to tell us about the event. Make sure to fill these out and fill these out well. If you need to, use our friends at ChatGPT to help you fill this out really well. Flesh it out. Make people really understand who you're serving and how they will be helping at your organization. Lastly, and very importantly, to title your opportunity to get the most amount of eyes from volunteersc.org. You want to post the title of your event instead of like Gala 2025. You want to say like set up gala to benefit sick kids, or something. Tell me what the volunteer is doing and who they are helping in the title. This so helps with recruitment, especially for the people that don't know your organization, and especially for first-time volunteers. They want to know what they're going to be doing and who they're helping at a glance. And if you can provide that in the title of your listing, those listings perform nearly 4 times better. So please use this as a marketing tool. I know that Brooke would be brilliant at this because she's brilliant at everything marketing, but put your Brooke mind on when you're filling out these titles. Okay, so we're going to go into a little more of the nitty-gritty here. You can post virtual opportunities if you need to. You can post in-person opportunities. You can also post volunteer info nights. If you want to have like a virtual info night that you have every Wednesday to see if you can kind of recruit people, or you can kind of leave that up as, you know, your standard Wednesday night just to catch eyes through the volunteersc.org universe. You can also create shifts in your events. So you can create as many shifts as you need. You can have overlapping shifts. You can name the shifts. You can customize those shifts. You can name shift descriptions. Everything is here. You can have spots per shift. Make sure that you, again, tell the people what exactly they're doing. Gen Z especially wants it. Okay, during that registration process, we have lots of different levers that you can toggle on and off here to make sure that registration process is exactly how you'd like it. Each of your organizations has a complimentary 15-minute call with our team after you have your events posted to check your events. We want to make sure that your events are properly posted. So book that call as you register to make sure that Shelby or Jenny or Steph glances over your events and make sure they're posted correctly. It's paid for already. Just take advantage of it. Okay, so once I post those events, what happens next? As an admin, all of my events are posted here. If you want to see a calendar view of those events here, red means that no one signed up. Green means that it's maxed out. Yellow, or this orange color, is that sign up is still in progress. If I go to an event and I click on it, I could have clicked on it from the calendar, but this isn't my normal flow. I can see who has registered for the event here. There's a couple different actions that you should be aware of as an admin. The first action is that even if your volunteers do not have point accounts, you can still add them to point. This is a great tool to try to empower your volunteers to become more of like that self-registration flow as an organization. It takes a lot of time off of your admins, but if you are a scheduler and you want to remain a scheduler, or if you have lots of older people that don't want to schedule themselves, this is how you do it. You're going to go to this assign spot functionality, and then you are going to either type in the person's name that needs to be scheduled or find it and just add them to the event here. So I'm going to add Aaron. I'm going to assign Aaron for, let's say, the 19th. And I'm going to confirm that shift, and I'm going to assign him the spot on Wednesday the 19th. Done. Or let's say I have a guy, Michael Bush, who is my husband, that called and said, hey, I really need you to book this for me. I didn't get to go online and do it. Don't worry, Michael Bush, we will create a contact for you. So I didn't find in the system. I'm going to create that contact. I'm going to add an email address for him. And then I'm going to add his name. And now I've created that contact for him and I've registered to the event. I can pick those dates again. I'm going to sign him to a shift, confirm the shift. And now Michael is getting an email that he has registered for this shift, even though he hasn't registered for himself. Always sneezing on Zoom. All
Now,
right.
would you agree that this is a really, really handy tool for seniors who don't want to do the technology and don't want to register?
Unbelievably handy. Unbelievably handy. Also, your seniors are still getting the confirmation email with all of the details sent to them. They're getting the reminder emails and they're getting the thank you emails, even though they don't have a point account. So you have now kind of released this chain of emails and that registration process for that individual. And every single time that they call you and they want to register, that is how you're going to do it. Of course, after you create the contact, you don't have to create them again. So I've assigned them the spot, and now Michael Bush has signed up. It also lets me know that Michael Bush has not agreed to that waiver because I had registered for them. So if they're pending that waiver, now you can go into the system and decide how you want that volunteer to complete that waiver. You can resend the waiver, you can upload a completed waiver, or you've completed that waiver offline in like a paper format. So there's a lot of ways that our system is here to help you make sure that you don't have any gaps in that management process, even if that person is not on the point system. Okay, so that is one of the great tools here. Anything under this action tab is really important for your organization. You can email all of your volunteers in this list for the event here. You can print out a worksheet of all the registrants here. You can export things as a CSV here. You got it all. All right, so let's talk about check-in. With the core plan, this is the easiest way to do check-in. There's two different methods on core. One, you can just check people in here with a tab. You can go to edit hours and you can edit those hours if you need to. You can also set a setting in the core plan that allows you to basically operate on the honor system. So everybody who is signed up, you automatically grant hours to, and then you can go and retroactively change those hours if people haven't actually come. If you want to explore different check-in methods, you're welcome to talk to our team about the other features that we have. Okay, so we went into check-in. We have talked about registration and how you can do it as admins. We've talked a little bit about that contact management. Let's talk about reporting. So there are lots of different ways that you can get reports from points. Here is the hours tab that you can granularly see all of your hours from all of your volunteers on point. You can also filter those hours. You can export CSVs from this list. There's lots of ways that you can see what's been happening at your organization. Check-in and event registration is not the only way to track your impact as an organization in those hours. If you are an organization that has a bunch of like super volunteers that are acting as roles, kind of like employees that are not employees of your organization, they might show up on Thursdays and they just want to log some hours, they can do that on point. And you as an admin can log it for them on your side. You can just go to this add hours button on this page, or you can go to your quick add here and then just add hours. You can search a contact name. Let's give Jenny some hours. You can search a program if she's been volunteering within a program and add the hours that she's been given. Also, your volunteers can submit hours to you the same exact way on their own account by going to their quick add. And when they do that, it's going to show up to you as a notification that they have submitted hours for your approval. And then you can just go through and approve those hours or edit those hours if you need. Jenny made cookies. I'm going to approve those hours. Thanks for volunteering, Jenny. It's now counted into her account, on her record, and in mine. Going back into tracking, let's talk about the beloved stats page. This page is an automatic, auto-generated, ready report that you can print off and export by PDF, and it will look exactly like this. So if you want to run a monthly report or a quarterly report that you're going to be handing to your C-suite team, tell them it took you hours to make it. Just say, I spent a really long time on this because the graphs are really pretty. And we can give it to you in a second. You're going to export that report. You can select date ranges, just like I mentioned. You can also look at select groups within your report. So if you just want to look at what a certain group of people like your super volunteers are doing and how they're impacting your organization, you can run those reports as well. And we tell you who your top volunteers are, how your event attendance is with over a certain time, where your engagement is as an organization. We know if you are legacy planning and you have a lot of older volunteers and you're really trying to recruit younger volunteers, this is a great thing to keep your pulse on. This over here is kind of our reliability rating or our flakiness rating. We tell you if your volunteers have been canceling a lot, if they're no showing, just to get a really nice data pool on this. I know that cancellations can feel really emotional. So this will tell you if people are really flaking on your organization or not, and if you need to have conversations with your volunteers about that. This is some of the things that you can report out. We also have an activity page where you can see registrations chronologically here.
I would just like to add that this is an absolutely unbelievable tool. Mallory just said that too. And this should be something that you just put in your board report every single time you have a board meeting. So all of your board directors can see your volunteer activity. Very graphic, very easy for people to see, and gives you a good snapshot as to how it's going over the course of the year. So absolutely love this feature.
Yes, absolutely. It saves so much time, and that's why it's available to you guys as a benefit. And I wanted to talk about a couple other time-saving hacks while we're here. I know I saw some of it in chat. So some time-saving hacks. First of all, if you are posting a lot of the same opportunities, you can create templates. Templates are a way that you can say like, all right, we do a lot of clinics and we do a lot of, food pantry work. I'm going to, as one admin, make kind of my, again, template with the form already filled out. And I'm going to share it with all the other admins within my point account. Remember, you have unlimited volunteers and unlimited admins on point. It does not matter to us. Invite the whole team to be on the platform. We want to make sure that all of the important people on your team really understand what it takes to manage volunteers. It is not a walk in the park. It is a hard job. So invite them to this. You can share templates with them. So they, if you're ever having someone fill in for you, you can create those events quickly. You can also duplicate events that have already been made. So if you are like, okay, the gala from last year worked really well on point, I'm just going to duplicate that. I'm going to go to the event itself. I'm going to click on that I button. I'm going to go to actions. I'm going to duplicate that event. So you don't have to fill it out again. You're just going to change the date and maybe some small things. So if you're typing a lot in point, you shouldn't be. Set it up once and start hitting those templates or duplicate buttons, make your life a little bit easier. Another time-saving hack is when you are ready to add your contacts. There is a way that you can import an entire CSV. When you import that CSV, you can do two things. You can create those contacts only, or you can invite them to claim the account. When you invite your volunteers to claim your accounts, their accounts on Point, it sends them an email and saying, hey, we're using Point now for our volunteer management. Let's have you do signups on your own, basically. That's the way they can do it, by clicking this button. You can also quick add volunteers. If you're doing a couple at a time, like walk-ins or anything, you can just add people like this, or you can add people one by one. You can also make sure that you keep your database clean. We know that other systems don't have all these features. So to highlight this really quickly, if you ever need to like merge contacts, if you make a duplicate, you have all of these features over here. Like you can merge contacts, you can send emails, you can add those contacts to groups. There's lots of ways you can control your database in here with these little time-saving features to help you. Okay. So all in all, you can use Point just to post on volunteersc.org and gain new volunteers from the network. If you're doing that, go to opportunities and post those events. Remember, post them publicly. If you are using Point to change and use it as an internal tool to manage your volunteer life cycle, start adding your volunteers with that CSV and start using the onboarding calls with our team and get more training on how to set up your account. The best way, again, to do it is set up your event structure. We call events, volunteer opportunities, and get started. I know that there are a ton of features that we have not talked about today. We have really not talked about messaging. We have not talked about more of the contact management and data management, but listen, this is a great start. And we are very, very excited to support you. If you go down to the support page, this is where you find us. We are, again, real humans, and there's a couple different ways you can get help from us. You can go to the support center. You can use our crash courses, which are every Wednesday, available to any Point user. Crash course webinars are an A to Z training. If you need to get someone on your team trained again, you're like, okay, someone wasn't able to make it today, they can watch the recording of this video, or they can go to a crash course webinar. Office hours are a time that you can just ask questions to our team. And Jenny or Shelby will be running those. And you can just ask your questions live and have them walk them through your use case. With that all being said, if we come back here to our deck, just remember that you have the additional support of Mallory at the Service Commission and United Way. So make sure that you talk with her, reach out to her if you have questions. And also, as a general note, when volunteer centers get launched and start to blossom, remember that it is not magic. It is kind of this process, like Uber. You have riders and you have drivers, and you kind of have to have this moment where there's enough riders and enough drivers to make the system go round. The partnership Together SC, United Way, AmeriCorps will be sharing this across the state, but you got to get them time to get those eyes and get those volunteers ready to commit. Also, as a general note, we know that it takes volunteers a lot of time seeing your organization and your brand to be ready to commit. It takes them a shopper about 10 times to commit to buying a pair of shoes to purchase those pair of shoes. I did have someone at the conference tell me that is not me. I see a pair of shoes and I buy it the first time. That's not a volunteer. They want to see your brand. They want to get familiar with you. So, Mark, jump in here.
Madison, I think while we still have folks, just two things.
Yeah.
Everyone, I am the ever suspicious individual and the ever procrastinating individual. So for anybody here who shares my suspicious qualities, if you're wondering like who pays for this, how and why, we pay for it with federal and state funds. So the state of South Carolina supports this and the federal AmeriCorps agency supports this. The governance is important here. So Together SC, the United Way Association, and AmeriCorps wanted to team up on this to make a really good sandbox for any nonprofit in the state. There are 5,000 nonprofits in South Carolina that file a 990. Small to mid-size were the ones that we dreamt of when we started this project. So if you're suspicious of like, is it free? Yeah, the whole reason we picked this tool and this vendor was that the basic loadout, the core features were completely free and you got good things. Do you want to drive it up to pro level features? You can talk to Madison's team about that, talk to our team about that. There are ways to do that. We have no skin in the game there. So if you want to keep it simple, keep it simple. Another one, if you like the tool that you have, if you have a volunteer tool, Madison doesn't love this, but like do your thing. Run it. If you don't have a tool or if you want to explore this, try it today. It takes literally 5 minutes to sign up and you've got a team of folks here happy to help walk you through it. we are early in this. We officially launched this, what, 2.5 weeks ago? So everybody's going to hit a few speed bumps. You're going to wonder how you do something. This is your first peer network, literally sitting in this Zoom room right here, who's going to take this and pilot it. So I encourage you all walking out of the room today, sign up, try it, book a meeting with Mallory, talk to Madison and team, and let's see where it goes.
Absolutely. And give the collective team the time to recruit those volunteers and get those eyes. If you are posting on the network and you're not getting people, remember, first of all, you're getting eyes. And secondly, stick with them. Post your volunteer opportunities from now to the end of the year. If you can, get those up months in advance so people see your brand. And it gives again, all of these guys the moments to go find those community agencies to direct them to volunteersc.org. You guys are the first piece of the puzzle. And now they're going to be doing the second piece of the puzzle, which is the volunteer side. With that, I am done yapping. Any remarks from the Together SC team?
Thank you so much, Madison, and to all of my colleagues and to all of you. I hope you can tell how excited we all are about this. This has been a little bit, I'd say we've been working on this for about 2 years. We've been talking about it, and it's finally come to a head here. And so we're really, really excited to be rolling out this tool for y'all. And as Madison mentioned, if you get into it, you dig into it, you find you have questions, you can talk to one of our team members at Together SC or at AmeriCorps, or you can use the little bubble button in the bottom right corner, the intercom button there, to reach out to one of Madison's team. The folks at Point can help you get set up as well. So thank you so much for joining us on this call today.
Absolutely. We had an offline chat asking us, how do you know what plan that you have in your account? You're going to go down to the subscription or upgrade button, and it will tell you what plan you have. If you had applied to get that pro license early, it was most likely granted to you, so it should already be in your account. Bye all.